Now, refresh everybody. Now check this out. There's only one live stream. Look at that. There's only one live stream on YouTube, and there is a vertical stream. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. Oh yeah, we're back. We're back and better than ever. We're back and better than ever. And it didn't even take that long. It took like 30, it took like what, like 5 seconds to figure out. Look at that. We're back indeed. Look at that. I still see 2 streams on YouTube. You might need to refresh a couple times. There should be only one. Unless YouTube automatically does the double stream. This time I didn't do that. This time that was on YouTube. It should have been simply just one. There should be only one. So you might see 2 because there's supposed to be one for vertical, but so wait, 2 or 3 second ones. That is only one live now. Yes, okay, then success. Then we have success, folks. We did it. We did it. So not only do we have success when it comes to the regular YouTube, we have success with the YouTube secondary stream. That is amazing. Excellent. Everything seems to be showing good. So we'll finish off the stream like that.
From their system to punish them.
Yeah, every time we're learning something new, folks. We're learning something new.
While referring to Trump's brown shirts as if they were a marginalized community, writing in a statement, Hilton is and always will be a welcoming place for all, as if discrimination against the fascist Gestapo is comparable to discrimination against someone for being black or gay.
Yeah, we are so back. Yeah, this is the kind of like corporate nonsense. This is exactly the type of corporate nonsense that kind of tells you, like, they don't care about you, okay? Are we seriously trying to invoke the, are we seriously trying to invoke this kind of, like, inclusive language to the literal Gestapo? Like, oh, we at the Hilton are so inclusive, okay? We don't discriminate against the Gestapo, okay? We might have left Soul Life behind, though. I'm pretty sure they are more than capable of figuring it out.
An ICE agent is not an immutable characteristic. They chose to join Trump's fascist Gestapo to hunt down other human beings, and because of that choice, they deserve to be social pariahs.
Oh, that's true. In that case, then Godspeed to them.
They deserve to have services denied to them. They deserve the scorn and ridicule that we saw at the beginning of this.
Oh, we're back. Oh, we're so back. We're so back. Our country is so back. Our stream, no, it's been stronger than never before.
Video, because they're not just bad people. They are a clear and present danger to the communities that they're occupying. And I'd tell you to boycott the Hilton, but I mean, every other corporation is probably also in lockstep with the regime, because that's what keeps the gravy train flowing, because we are in the final stage of capitalism, and it always devolves into fascism. as you can see right now. Like, it is literally the people against the entire establishment, both the corporate establishment and the government establishment. We are our own advocates at this point. The media is not going to represent us or advocate for us. Corporations aren't going to come to the rescue. Government.
Yeah, like, you know, to the people who think that, like, the left was always being exaggerating and saying that this isn't fascism and, like, oh, you don't know what fascism is. What are you talking about? The merge of state and corporate power? Like, what are you talking about? Well, we're living in it. We're living in it. And the alpha males are back. The technate extended from Greenland to Venezuela.
Isn't going to come to the rescue. We are up shit creek without a fucking paddle.
Yep.
So the situation does feel really bleak right now, not just for us, but the entire globe, namely the countries that are being threatened right now by...
Yeah, and I think somebody said earlier, maybe a couple people in chat said earlier, sorry, it's like just flying at 100 miles per hour, but for me, but some people mentioned like Colombia, some people mentioned Cuba. Yeah, all these all these folks when we were having the conversation on Greenland. Yeah, all these countries are on. We are a threat to the world. That is the reality that we sit on right now. We are a threat to the world. There is no other way of putting it. Nadia is also a fellow YouTube chatter. She does tend to flow back and forth. Sometimes she'll be on Twitch and sometimes she'll be on YouTube. So Nadia's the exact same. She's exactly the same on name on YouTube and Twitch. So yes. Yeah, it happens, folks. It happens. But hey, if you refresh the page, it's there. It's all, you see. This is what Soullife was talking about, because there was 2 YouTube streams and it was causing some issues within chat. So we may have lost some people, but that's okay. That is okay, because I understand now, and I will not do it again next time. Did we discuss Medicaid now being used for ICE surveillance? Are we serious right now? I share Zizek's position on Ukraine, and my parents do not. JK, welcome. It will take decades to get through the final stages of capitalism, or a few good weeks. God knows. I mean, technically, I think we could. Yes, can you send me can you send me that in DMs or whispers or whatever? Because after this video, I'm just gonna run through some headlines, and that sounds like a story.
This regime, and as bad as we have it, keep in mind that the people most affected by this regime, they didn't have a say in the last election. But on that note, assuming that we really do have free and fair elections in 2028, which I think is really debatable, any Democrat who doesn't commit to abolishing ICE and
AD acceptable losses. Some of you may not have made it from the other YouTube chat, but that is a sacrifice I'm willing to make.
Prosecuting every single criminal from this regime, they should be laughed out of the fucking room. But even to get to that hypothetical future where we can choose a new leader, like, we have to survive a minimum of 3 more years of this. More pain, more suffering, more human rights abuses, more kidnappings, more...
UFC once shouted abolish ICE and tax the rich. Yeah, honestly, like, I think we as we, meaning the broader the left TM, I think we really need to take a hard stance on this, and make this like an actual red line about any candidates that are running, and especially in the primaries, any candidate that is not about not about abolishing ICE, holding ICE accountable, putting these people where they belong, then they should not be paid attention to. Any potential candidate that is going to try to run, I think the left really needs to take a more stronger stance on that, and really draw that line and say, hey, if you don't want to hold ICE accountable, if you do not want to stop this from ever happening again, then maybe we shouldn't take that candidate seriously. She did, but how serious was she about it? Yeah, I mean, we still have ICE. And she's not the only one. I was in the other stream waiting and nobody ever came. Okay, and I listened to you, and I consolidated. I basically restarted and took away the other stream, while maintaining the ability to do a vertical stream at the same time, so that there's no more confusion.
Necessary deaths, more murders. I mean, I feel like we're already close to the boiling point, so I don't know if Americans can tolerate that for this long without, taking to the streets. Not that that's going to do anything, but if Americans really do want to stop what's happening right now, there's one way to do that. General strike. You have to deny this entire system your labor. You have to shut this entire fucking bitch down, shut down the entire economy. We need work stoppages. You can't do this by yourself. There needs to be a lot of organization here from unions.
There's going to be a lot. The amount of organization, and by the way, it's necessary. This is what I mean about a class consciousness, okay? Like, in order for us to be able to build that momentum, it takes all of us. That is all of our responsibility. Okay,
and
I don't care if all you do are memes. Okay, I don't care if all you do is reshare social media stuff. I don't care if all you do is talk to a family member. Maybe spread awareness that way. I don't care if it's through your friends, through your local community by participating in whatever. But this is to get to that point. That is what is necessary.
Leaders and labor, political leaders, but that's really the only thing that we have going for us, because in the not so distant future, AI is going to take away a lot of jobs. So if we don't have labor to deny to these capitalists, then we really have not a single hope of surviving this. So, there needs to be organization, there needs to be action, because I think that it's unacceptable to just expect to tolerate this for 3 years. This is not acceptable for a day, let alone 3 more fucking years.
Yep. Give me a second, folks. People got to understand that the cops and I see each other as equals for all intents and purposes. They're police and enjoy the perks of that, which is protection from pigs and immunity. Yeah. They see themselves like that. JD thinks I eat pets. How come you see? This is what's frustrating. How come now I don't see anything? Now it's funny because all of Twitch seems kind of. Oh no, it's just Heat. It's just you. Your profile picture just disappeared on my channel, off my chat. Let me refresh everything. Anyways, give me 1 second, folks. Let me take a minute here. Okay. One second. Oh, there you are. Okay, never mind, Heat. It's a false alarm. I refreshed everything. Yeah, it's here. That invisibility potion was a ripoff. Yeah, it's there. It was your profile picture was invisible. All right, so we got a clip from some of the protests that are happening, and Status Coup. If you've ever watched their content, they're fantastic. They're fantastic. So here's a clip, and I just want to play this as a this was given by Judge. I want to play this as a barometer, okay, as a barometer of how people are feeling right now. I think I think it's important to understand like how the country is right now and how much of a tinderbox everything is. The whole country is a tinderbox. Like literally everything is just a tinderbox, and there's a match at every corner.
Why did you feel compelled to be here today?
I came up here in 2020 after George Floyd was murdered, after I watched that video, and on Wednesday I got word that Renee Nicole Good was murdered in cold blood, and I made the decision right then and there that I was going to come up here one way or another. They fired the first shot. I'm not calling for peace anymore. I don't care what Fox News says. I don't care what that woman in the press room says. I'm not calling for peace. They fired the first shot. We have the Second Amendment for a reason. It's time for people to come back here with weapons and show these people that we're equals.
I can just feel the emotion coming off of you right now.
And by the way, exercising your Second Amendment right to protect protesters has happened since the Black Panther days. It is not new. It's not new, and it's not illegal.
You've been wearing it on your sleeve today, as I've seen you like have some interactions with other protesters here. Describe to me some of those emotions that you're feeling right now.
I'm angry. We knew this was going to happen.
Yep.
We knew this was going to happen. I knew.
Yeah. In fact, this is inevitable. This is inevitable. In fact, I would argue that's probably what they wanted to happen. I'm angry too. You should be.
Knew this was going to happen.
Now do you see how woke and difficult truth is falling in the ratings? I told you not to protest. Now you'll face the consequences. Bye-bye. I disagree with the Second Amendment by principle. Yeah, but like, if you are going to have a Second Amendment to supposedly, right? To suppose, like the whole point, right? Like that's what they tell us, right? From the right-wing perspective. From the right-wing perspective, that's what they tell us. They told us that the Second Amendment was put in by our almighty founding fathers, you know, gods among men, right? Gods among men told us that this is what we needed to rise against tyranny. Well, tyranny is here. Tyranny is here. And I'm not disagreeing with you, Bruno, in principle, honestly. But I'm saying, like, hey, that's the supposed, right? That's the supposed use that we were told by these same right-wingers who are now bootlickers, who are now protecting the regime. We've been backing up protests here since 2020, but our state is one of the chuddiest, and we've got a lot of militias that were harassing and stalking us. And again, your Second Amendment right to protect yourself does not change. Does not change. And I think that the more I listen, the more I understand what he's saying. And you know what? Yeah. You know what, Judge? I changed my mind. Yeah. I think that what he is saying is not only just a barometer of what's happening, but it's kind of like where we're at right now. Yeah, be safe indeed. You don't have to agree with the 2A to exercise it. Yep. The Second Amendment original purpose was meant to deal with the lack of proper army back then. Oh no, I agree. I agree with all of that. I'm just saying from their perspective. From their perspective. They are reviewing laws around carrying at protests now, though, because of the No Kings shooting. Yeah, but I think that of course you have to be careful and you have to be cognizant of the laws. Of course, I agree with you on that point. The right-wing adulterated meaning of the provision. Yep. But you and I know that people are not disciplined enough to make sure exercising their Second Amendment doesn't turn into a casus belli for the regime. Street violence just allows martial law. Yeah, no doubt about it. That's why that's why I'm super advocating for, obviously, not number one, common sense, and number two, follow your local laws, because states have different laws. Some states allow you to open carry. Some states allow you to open carry, but not during protests. Some states just have way more securities in place. It just depends. This gent in the yellow sweatshirt feels like a plant trying to get escalation. Maybe, but I feel like he's also a temperature for the country, because I think a lot of people feel this way. I think a lot of people feel this way. They're angry. A lot of people are angry. Martial law is already here in Minnesota. They're breaking down doors. Jesus. How many others are interviewed at this demo? I don't know, but Status Coup, by the way, is the one doing the interview. Status Coup, I think, is pretty decent. And I'm sure that he's not the only guy that they talked to.
The minute they called the election in 2024. That's why what I did right when I knew the election was going to go the way it did, that's why I went and I bought my first gun. I used to hate guns. I used to think that it was insane that we have more guns than people in this country.
But it is. It's still insane. It's still insane that this is where we're at.
And in reality, I still do think that it's insane that we have more guns than people.
Yes.
But if we've got people like these guys out here just terrorizing people, kicking in doors with no warrants, kidnapping people with no cause, and murdering people for trying to flee and for obeying a command to leave the area.
Did you find the Medicaid
and then
article?
shooting her in the face like that after she drops her kid off at school. We have to show up with guns. We have to. There's no other way around it. I don't care if I don't have a Minnesota carry permit. I'm unarmed right now, but this is the last time I show up to face these guys without a weapon. There's no way. I got shot with a pepper ball.
No, you're supposed to follow the laws. So I cannot advocate for just unlawfully carrying without the correct information. So that's where I disagree.
5 minutes after walking in here, I never laid a finger on them. I never raised a hand to them. I've only been using my voice. The time for speaking is over. The time for niceties is over. The time for peace is over. They fired the first shot. It is time to end this shit by any means necessary.
Why did you feel compelled to be here today?
I came up here in
He advocates for you to cross the line, but but advocates for you to do so. Yeah, I mean, he says that he's going to start doing it. But no, I do not. I do not think that you should be doing anything that is illegal. You put it in U.S. News? Okay, we'll take a look at it just right now. Insanity would imply a condition that is not a control person suffering it and idiosyncratic to their personal experience. Is he dark woke? Oh, wait, I think I found it. So that's cool. Before we get out of here, because we got to run through some of this. This is really dystopic stuff. Let me tell you. This is a mass collective psychosis in which we're all forced to a greater or lesser degree to participate, even if that's resistance. Even if that's resistance, there's just simply no opting out of being involved in the madness that all of our problems, one way or another. He's getting dark woke AF. Yeah, I mean, like, I look. I understand where he's coming from. Okay, assuming that memo is incorrect, and we're not dealing with a plant or an agitator that knew that status quo as a left-wing media, outlet, was targeted, and this guy was put in front of it. Let's just put that argument aside for a second. I think that there's a lot of people that are angry, and I think that that part is true. I think that people are scared, and I think that people are angry, and they're scared. And I think that they're seeing that a increasingly tyrannical government is getting more and more brazen and is getting away with more and more things, up to and including executing a citizen in broad daylight. And I think that is important to pay attention to, because people are getting mad, and there are people that genuinely feel this way, and that's why they're there. Otherwise, this guy wouldn't, like, again, let's assume then let's flip it around and assume that he is a plant. The only reason why that would work is because there are people that feel that way. Does that make sense? So in any way you slice it, I think that this is an important anecdote, to use as a barometer of what is happening in the country. One second, folks. Agree without a portion of the military joining your second try, then I don't think it would work. Oh no, I don't think it would. You know, I'm not confident of that. Oops, sorry. I'm not confident of that. It's more like people are desperate. People are tired, and people are angry. If he's a plant, it's effed up. It shows they know they're wrong. Yeah. But it also means of course. But also it tells me that there are people that do feel this way in some way, shape, or form. That putting this guy as a plant would work, right? It would work, because otherwise it would look kind of absurd, right? If everything was all hunky dory, and everything was fine, like, you put this guy finding a left-wing media outlet interviewing people, and you put this guy in front of them, to later maybe say, aha, gotcha, lefties, you see, this is the kind of stuff that you people want to advocate for. That only happened because people underneath really do feel that way. If they didn't, then this would just look absurd. It's kind of what I'm getting at, right? Anyways, yeah, I think that the entire situation is one big giant tinderbox, in my opinion, and it's kind of been that way. We've had this conversation. Remember my PSA announcements that I've had to do several times throughout 2025. You know, please be careful of what you post online. Please be careful, because things are getting escalating, it's the same. So we're gonna give benefit of the doubt because he said many good things, but good propaganda is 90% true and 10% false. I mean, yeah, maybe. We don't know. But I think that we can say with confidence either way, that the argument still stands. If you don't believe they can exterminate people to the last man, you're lacking an appreciation for modern police state methods. No, I completely understand. Even in decades ago, I used to talk with, I still talk with this Vietnam veteran, who is now way more left leaning than I could hope for, considering, who has become more left leaning, and he over time, obviously he's an older gentleman. I've watched, because he's always had like a liberal tint. He's always had a liberal tint. But more and more, he's becoming more and more lefty. And he recognizes, as Nadia, as you were pointing out, exactly, even back then, what the United States military is technically capable of. So no, I'm not saying that they obviously can do that if they really wanted to. But anyways, justice has been replaced by arbitrary action. Yep, I stopped using Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. Good call. I think the Lincoln Project guys will eventually turn left wing. I don't know. I'm not holding my breath for that one. Who knows? I mean, Godspeed. I hope. Check out a book called The Phoenix Program by Douglas Valentine. The Jakarta Method by Vincent also. That is on my list. Finally got the Facebook app off my phone a few weeks ago. Might get rid of the account on browser too. It used to be the only way to talk to family. Still the only way for many old friends. Yeah, completely understandable. Completely understandable. I've stopped using Twitter. I've stopped using Twitter. I haven't posted in Twitter since November of 2024. Right before the election, I think. When Elon Musk took over, that didn't take that long for me to stop using Twitter. Bunker Cat rating in with the party of 14. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everybody. Hey, thank you, Bunker Cat, for hanging out and bringing your wonderful community. If you have not seen me before, I'm a Difficult Truth. I do the news. I do the politics. Big up. Have a stream. Have a great stream, you left wing. Thank you, Bunker Cat. I appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, welcome. And thank you for the follows. Appreciate that. Ravy, welcome. Mary Jane, welcome. Lost access to my Facebook account years ago and never cared enough to re-up it. Seems I've dodged a bullet. Yeah. Kamala Harris is here in New Orleans, not only to swear in my new mayor, but also here to promote her new book. Heck yeah! Because that's what's important. I'm so glad Kamala Harris is really really doing the important stuff. Thank you, Kamala Harris. Man, I'm so glad. How could you ever survive without your book? I'm so glad. Since ICE can use Medicaid data, they're not after undocumented people, they're after naturalized citizens. Yep. Didn't she recently crack the shits because she expected a softball interview about her book but asked some unscripted questions? I mean, that sounds right. That sounds about right. Jasmine, welcome. BCAT. All right, folks, let me get through some of this. ICE can use Medicaid data to find people without legal status for deportation cases, so that's cool. As Cognizant has pointed out, there's not a lot of undocumented folks in the Medicaid system for obvious reasons. This is for citizens. Yeah, the targets being LGBTQ, leftists, and more. That's probably it. You can't be on Medicaid and being undocumented. Yep. FYI, undocumented immigrants are not eligible for Medicaid. You have to prove citizenship to get Medicaid. Yep. So who is this for? For us, folks. It's for us. Starting on Tuesday. That's fantastic. I think that was just last week. Does Medicaid records cover people who use emergency rooms? That's a good question. Maybe through that, because technically, that could be. That's what I'm saying. I'm not confident that you're gonna find a lot of undocumented people, like undocumented information. It might be very, very rare, if much information, because undocumented people cannot get Medicaid benefits. So maybe through some hospital records, through emergency room visits. But really, how much information of undocumented people are you going to extract from this? The reality is, this is probably more for us. Take down pictures. Musk's Mecha Hitler robot is making prawn out of any pictures given to it, including CSAM, by the way. Yes. Starting on Tuesday, the administration may resume giving immigration authorities leads on where to find people without legal status. A federal judge says it's lawful to hand over information about who is getting public health benefits. NPR immigration correspondent Jasmine Gard is covering this story. So as part of the administration's deportation campaign earlier this last year, Homeland Security officials requested information from the Health and Human Services Department about undocumented immigrants who were enrolled in Medicaid, and HHS gave it to them. In response, 20 Democratic attorney generals sued the administration. So the fact that this is not a thing. There's no real undocumented immigrants who are enrolled in Medicaid. That is absurd. Now, maybe you could garner information from hospital visits, but to be clear, to be quite frank, there's probably not a lot of information of undocumented people through the Medicaid system. And yes, as Craleo has pointed out, this is also a HIPAA violation, like an actual HIPAA violation. Can't pregnant women get some Medicaid if they're pregnant? Next time, lead with the drugs. In response, 20 Democratic attorney generals have sued the administration. That was back in July. At the time, a federal judge temporarily barred the administration from sharing the information, but now he ruled that it can resume starting tomorrow. So that's fantastic. So this is telling the immigration authorities who's getting Medicaid can people with documents, without documents, even sign up for Medicaid. Mostly no, it's a state by state. Many states don't have this at all, but some Democratic states do allow undocumented immigrants to get state-funded health insurance benefits. For example, New York. New York has extended Medicaid benefits for all residents over 65 years old, regardless of immigration status. So there may be some people without legal status who you might find this way. What would the government do with this information after the ruling takes effect? The judge has ruled, what the judge has ruled is that the Trump administration is only allowed to share some Medicaid data about people living unlawfully in the U.S., so it cannot access personal information from other immigrants receiving Medicaid or U.S. citizens. I don't believe that. They also told us that our information was secure with the whole Doge thing happening, and then everybody's social security numbers got leaked. So I don't trust them. I don't trust them. I heard fentanyl is a WMD. Yeah, that was said by the president, and that is obviously insane. State funds those extended benefits, not federal. Yep, but who cares? Because the Medicaid funding does in part come from federal government. So whatever, they feel the need that they can just barge in there and take whatever information they want. He said that what can be shared is the following: citizenship, immigration status, address, phone number, and date of birth, Medicaid ID, no health information though. Oh, well, gee, thanks, dudes. I'm so glad that no health information is being done. Just your immigration status, which, how is that even in the, whatever. Your address, your phone number, date of birth. Yeah, sure, that's great. I know, Nadia. Yeah, Starmer, from what I understand, and I'm very limited in my knowledge of UK politics, but he is such a disappointment. He's such a clown. It's almost amazing how much of a fail that guy has become. Labour Party, by the way. Advocates are saying this is invasive, and there's a concern that this is going to deter people from getting basic health care, because it is. Public health advocates say it's important for everyone to have access to vaccines, immunizations to keep the entire population healthy. But, Republicans, this is a huge victory. It's seen as something that long overdue. Republicans have been arguing for decades that undocumented immigrants are a burden on American taxpayers. They're not, on local schools and medical systems, so this is seen as a major victory. Like, why would you even frame that? Like, why would you even say that? We know that they hate people. We know that fundamentally they want to get rid of these plans for everyone, right? Like, the Republican argument isn't, oh my God, this is such a burden. They want to get rid of all of it. They want to get rid of all of it. It's just that their xenophobia is the key, right? The xenophobia is like, oh, hey guys, the brown people are using up all your medical systems. We got to get rid of the brown people. Spoiler alert, they don't care about the medical systems either. They want none of you to have anything. Keir Starmer's Hakeem Jeffries and Chuck Schumer, if they were merged into the same man, only British. Oof. And anti-LGBT. Oof. Wow. Wow. So the order goes into effect tomorrow. It's going to stay in place until a lawsuit is fully resolved. The judge is still considering what other kind of information the HHS can release to Homeland Security beyond this data. Can DHS request data about citizens or lawful permanent residents? What about families with mixed immigration status? Yeah. What about families with mixed immigration status? They'll go after citizens too. Yeah, this is really bad. We have to pay attention to this, for sure. My MRI results come back as an unhealthy man. I need to stop eating Popeye's chicken and start doing real exercise outside of goddamn golf. No, Mr. President, sir. Mr. President, sir. No, you need to continue your McDonald's diet, sir. It is perfect. It is perfect. Good luck raising your fellow American next. I don't know what that means. Let me know when you're gonna start making sense. Don't know what that means. Speaking of Chuck Schumer and Hakeem Jeffries, hey, remember the government shutdown that you rolled over for, and now now you're pretending to do a victory lap of extending these Obamacare subsidies when in reality that was never ever gonna happen? Yeah, thanks, dudes. Trump says he may veto extension of Obamacare subsidies because, of course, the president has said on Sunday he might veto the legislation to extend federal health subsidies, injecting fresh uncertainty into a debate that has pitted congressional Republicans against Democrats, threatening to raise premiums for millions of Americans. Spoiler alert, Republicans actually want this. They want you to not be able to afford health cares. Expiration of the health insurance tax breaks at the end of 2025 left millions of Americans facing significant price hikes for coverage. So I mean, we don't have to rehash this. We don't have to rehash this, but like, yeah, fell for it again award. Yeah. Thanks, Chuck. Appreciate that, you know. I'm stumped as to why businesses would want to do business in America since the government is willing to violate every standard of data security. They're not interested in any of that. Not really. Not really. Just change the name to Romney Care. Maybe Trump will leave it alone. And change it to Epstein Island. He will stop talking about it. Nursing strike in New York City has begun. Yeah, please do not Fed post. Hey, thank you, Bunker Cat, for the 300 bits, the 30 biddies. I didn't even realize that was like a thing. Yeah, call it Epstein Care Island. Yeah, watch him stop talking about it. Immediately. Yeah, change. Yeah, it's kind of where I got the meme. Change Greenland's. Change Greenland's name to Epstein Island. Problem solved. Healthcare for minors. The largest nursing strike in New York City, welcome Wolf Glen, begins amid stalled contract negotiations. This is a story that has kind of bubbled up here. We stand in solidarity with the nurses. Tom, howdy, welcome. I don't keep talking about my shitty family, but it's vaguely related. My sister's piece of shit abusive husband. I called his house on Grindr when I was visiting. Always the most hateful people or biggest hypocrites. Yeah, you know why? It's because they initially hate themselves. Because they were told that being yourself, right? Like if you're on Grindr, if you're gay or if you're not cis or gender conforming or anything like that, you are an abomination. And they internalize that, and then they lash outwards at the very same people instead of accepting yourself. Instead of, hey, it's okay. It's okay if you like men as a guy. Who cares? It's okay if you're bisexual. It's okay if you're gay, if you're lesbian, if you're trans. It doesn't matter. You are you, and that's okay. But instead, they've been indoctrinated and told that actually it's an abomination and an affront to God, and you are an abomination and affront. Because think about it, especially as a young person who's been hearing this over and over and over again, and as you grow up and explore and find yourself, and you realize, because there's nothing that's going to change that, you like who you like, right? Nothing is going to change that. And once that reality starts setting in as you get older, maybe in your teens and stuff like that, and that starts to, you start to come to terms that you start lashing outwards. And thus, you know, you have this situation. It's also the same reason why there's a lot, why Grindr crashes at Republican conventions, right? It's not, you know, you are who you are, and I think that they've just been indoctrinated. This is, of course, in my opinion, how they feel, and probably the explanation, because it doesn't make any sense. if they are themselves gay or bi or just gender non-conforming in any way, shape, or form. But it makes sense that they've just been it propagandized or internalized all of this self-hatred, and they just lash out. I know it'd be hilarious, but that has to be a folktale with Grindr crashing. It seems to happen every time. I don't know. From my understanding. I'm cishet and I go F about what anyone else wants or does because I'm secure. Very sad that these people use their crises to adversely affect others. Yeah, of course. That's the sad part. That's the sad part about it, right? Because like, who cares, man? You don't have to lash out. Just be yourself. Like, nobody's gonna care if you come out as gay, or you come out as bi or trans or any of the or any non-cis, non-heteronormative person. Who cares? Really, seriously, who cares? Just be yourself. Stop, beating up other people who are of that community because you can't accept yourself because you were told that. Yeah, we can do anything. They can't do anything without God. You're the best. Chat, you are close. See ya, gotta go. Hey, thank you so much. I appreciate you hanging out, Heat, and thank you for modding. MAGA is a fetishism movement, and they do everything the Nazis do. Oh, fascism movement, and they do everything the Nazis do. Yes. As someone who is German, I imagine you can see things. You see what we are seeing. I saw a wild kitten, but I ran into the shadows when I realized it noticed. But anyways, solidarity with the nurses. Heck yeah. In fact, I wish this was a bigger general strike in across the board. Various of those spreading hate are trying to use it as cover for public denial. Yeah, that's also true. Yeah. Yep. As a newish parent, I understand the fear. I'm so stressed my kid's gonna be straight. I need my local nurse tomorrow. No strikes allowed. Oh, I'm sure that your hospital is gonna be functioning, just not the nurses. MAGA and Republicans will use this against the New York mayor. Yeah, because he's controlling their nurses. It's true. Of course they will. Of course they will. Yeah, no scabbing. I need health care. Listen, if you need to go to the emergency room, just no emergency room, folks. Don't cross the picket line. Yeah, let the surgeons change to bedpans for once. Hospitals are run by nurses. Yes, that's true. They do a lot of the grunt. They do everything a lot. But I don't think that hospitals are going to be left completely inoperational. Not 100%. Scabbing is saying they can't stroke. Obviously, people can use the hospitals during strikes and expect you to, just like most teachings at universities, it's done by TAs. Yep. Dying is better than crossing the picket line. That is a verifiable fact. Yep, that's true. They're the ones that take care of you. Anyways, folks, I got one more story. This one's going to be a short one before we get out of here. Mississippi synagogue has been apparently bombed by arson suspect because of its, quote, Jewish ties. I mean, obviously, it's a synagogue. the same synagogue that was bombed by the KKK. So I can only imagine that this is probably going to be some Nazi. So we'll keep following about how this happened. The suspect was setting fire to the Mississippi synagogue. He targeted it because of, quote, Jewish ties. Authorities have charged Stephen Brenzer, 19 years old. So, yeah. With maliciously damaging or destroying a building by means of fire and explosive, federal investigators said. Pittman confessed to lighting a fire inside the Beth Israel congregation in Jackson. The FBI said in an affidavit, come back, filed in the U.S. District Court of Mississippi. In an interview with law enforcement officers, the affidavit said Pittman characterized the house of worship as a synagogue of Satan. So, yeah, that kind of tells me a lot. So this is part of the damage before we get, yeah, but somehow it'll be the radical left's fault. Yeah. Something tells me that, this is some kind of, far-right, probably Nazi, adjacent or just straight up Nazi, based on, what we have so far. Of course, we'll figure out, more information later, but, yeah. This is the kind of stuff that's that's happening here in the great U.S. of A. A Gripper, probably. Young, saying that the building had ties, Jewish ties, a synagogue of Satan. Who talks like that? Who talks like that? "19 though, so sad you waste your life to hate so young and uninformed and ill-informed." Yep, that is the reality of today. That is the reality of today. Yeah, they also blame the left of Charlie Kirk's assassination. Yep, and we still have no idea what the heck actually was going on there, by the way. Wild. Alright, folks, it's time for me to get out of here. Thank you all for being, that's true. Nazis eat other Nazis. It's true. They are very known, because that's just how fascism works. Eventually, if you are fascist, they'll come for you too, once they're, if they feel like they're, especially with these type of fascists, because there's like fascists competing with fascists. Yeah, absolutely. Did we ever find out more about the guy who was hiding on a in Trump golf course? No, incidentally. No. Nice to meet you in your chat. Well, I appreciate that. Thank you, Bunker Cat, as well, for raiding over. Appreciate it, all of you guys. Fake NBC News again with their fake reporting. Your favorite president, me, will be forced to NBC to shut its news division in 2027. Mark it in your calendar. I'll miss most of you. Look, I'm not gonna make the same mistake, Soul Life. So next time on Wednesday, there will be one YouTube chat to rule them all, okay? One YouTube chat. No, one YouTube stream, one YouTube chat to rule them all, and that's how we're gonna play this from now on, because I understand. Because I understand now. Thank you to Heat and Michael Hatzer for modding the chat when the Facebook live stream. Thank you all for hanging out. Appreciate it. Thank you for your support. Thank you to Bunker Cat. Thank you for the biddies. Thank you for the follows. You guys are what makes this channel go. If you want to support the channel directly, check out the links, folks. Join the Discord. Check out my show on this space at 7 p.m. Eastern Time every Tuesday. Thank you all. I appreciate it. Thank you for the wisdom on the stream. Thank you, Judgment Free Zone. I appreciate that. Thank you, BCat. I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging out. I appreciate it. And I agree, Tomry Games. Yeah. Scary stuff. Scary stuff. It's not just here. It's not just here. that emote, the Nussie emote, is amazing. is amazing. I appreciate all of you guys being here. You guys are what makes this channel go. I'll see you guys if you're on the Twitch side. I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Or if you want to follow, please subscribe to this space and check out my show tomorrow at 7 p.m. on this space's YouTube channel. Thank you all for being here. As always, please stay safe. Please take care of each other. I love you all, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Tuesday, 7 p.m. Otherwise, Wednesday, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern Time. See ya! Don't know me. You got way more content this time than I was able to do. Yeah, hope to see you live from Polymarket Studios next time. Hang tight, folks. It's Nasimo TOS. No, it's not. It's not. It's not because I see you. We're heading out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bye-bye.